Breathe together. Let's do that. Let's breathe together. I like to talk about 360-degree breaths, not just coming in through our noses and into our lungs, but also coming in through every bit of our body. Life force energy, known as prana, rides on oxygen molecules. And so we can bring it in, bring it down to our lungs, and then send it where we might need it. Maybe your precious joints need some loving right now. Direct this universal life force that you have within you and is it around you to help you feel healthy, whole, strong, and oh so beautiful because you are so beautiful. And then you can let it just permeate every bit of your body from the top of your head to your hands to your beautiful buttocks to your feet. Using your imagination, which is the same exact power that made the heavens and the earth, and you as a beloved child of the oneness, we have this within us. In this great game of creation is forgetting that we're infinite and then remembering. This is a space for you to remember your whole self. And in this breathing, I want you to see your full beauty as your soul, which can be known as that feeling of love without conditions. Your infinite soul, your truly loving self permeating into the cells of your body, into your emotional structure, into the facets of your mind, into every chakra or energy vortex, every atom. And in this moment, we're going to be experiencing together in the heightened energy of this moment in the eternal now, which you can receive at any time because we are not bound by time and space in truth. Let yourself feel your beauty, your vitality, your health, your ability to prosper being amplified and fully supported by everything in creation and the energy that made creation itself. And radiant, luminous being, there is such natural power, which means ability or capability, in knowing the truth of your existence, the truth of how much you matter, how beautiful you are in this moment. There is just adoration energy flowing to you and for being willing to be alive at this particular time in humanity. You, dear one, me, all of us, we're at a crossroads of the soul, and it's intense, and it's divinely ordained, or however you know the divine. God, Great Spirit, Jesus, Buddha, Baba, Allah, Goddess, Universe, Higher Self, Higher Power, Science, Nature, Love. So many different ways we humans have called the infinite, the something greater within us and around us that is so ever present and in this moment in time is radiating to us like never before. It's pure grace for the transformation of the forgetting to the remembering. Because forgetting that we're all part of one incredible, amazing, cosmic, and divinely created existence, that's kind of had humanity by the short hairs for a while. Gets me by the short hairs sometimes too. I always say, welcome, Earthling. We come here, we forget, and then we remember and have great compassion for that process. Tender and fierce compassion. And in this new moon ignition, this new moon in Aries, which occurs at 1:23 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the USA on the East Coast, and happening all over the world. It will be happening during this transmission, and I've set the alarm on my phone to chime to mark that moment. And then I'm going to use something called a ganta. It's a very sacred sound instrument to that really brings the masculine and the feminine together. When you have a bell, which is what a ganta is, the bell, the shape of the bell represents the womb of the feminine. And then the striker represents the Shiva lingam, or the activating force of the masculine. I will be ringing that at the new moon, which this is also the beginning of the new moon. Oh my gosh, I get so excited. I mean, part of the reason I guided us to breathe in the beginning, because Cindy Lou needed to breathe herself. You know, it's a big experience in a human's life when what they long for materializes. I'm experiencing that. I know many on the planet are, even though the symptoms of the dis-ease of separateness are bursting all over in many places on this planet and many systems. But there is a new matrix of true prosperity, flourishing, nurturing, thriving, growing, loving, that is now on this planet. And we have the free will to access it and create with it, or to let it kind of throw us around like a cat with a mouse until we surrender to its loving, truly nurturing, wanting us to remember our infinite power now. So, dear one, the new moon in Aries, March 21st, 2023, is a time that has been predicted for eons. This particular time, March and April 2023, is a pivotal catalytic shift point for creation, and specifically for the golden planetary mother, which is how I know Mother Earth, and for all of her forces, her elements, her inhabitants, including us. The gaze of the cosmos is on us, and they're rooting for us. I'm rooting for us. I'm rooting for you. So here's the string of events. I like to say, buckle up, goddesses or gods, or whatever non-gender, gender fluid term can be for the infinite divine. I guess divine doesn't, it has any kind of connotation of gender, but buckle up, divine beings. So what we had on March 20th was the autumnal or fall equinox in the southern hemisphere, or the spring or vernal equinox in the northern hemisphere, signifying in the southern hemisphere the fall equinox, the letting go of that which was built, and having some space to regroup, to nestle in, and create new in natural rhythm. And in the northern hemisphere, the spring or vernal equinox, bringing in that time after that patience, that waiting, that regrouping, to be able to blossom new life and new color everywhere. And in wholeness, the whole planet together, supporting all of us, because we are citizens of Earth, citizens of our solar system, citizens of the Milky Way galaxy, and citizens of the entire cosmos. We move in rhythm, and sometimes that rhythm gets out of rhythm. Aw, human beings, we like to play with this divine force by forcing and then collapsing. Well, here's the good news for all those forcers in us, which has to do with the active principle and distortion that forces before something's ready. It's like pulling the petals off a flower to make it bloom faster. I used to try to cook faster that way. Cook, cook, cook. Aw, led for not such a tasty dish. But as we move into being able to use natural energy, this is where the new moon in Aries on the first day of Aries, the first day of the zodiac year, the Aries being the ram, being the energy that initiates, that starts fresh, that moves. We have all that energy. So that unhealthy, it can be called the highly wounded masculine or the unhealthy active principle, now has an opportunity to let go of the lower vibrational ego, which is the affirmation of separateness force, and join. I keep seeing the analogy of jumping in when double Dutch jump rope is going on. You go in when there's space. And if you don't go in when there's space in that time, you get hit by the ropes. Or if you've ever body surfed in the ocean or regular surfed or boogie board surfed, there's a time when you in between the waves and you can feel the crest and you can choose the biggest wave. You can feel it out there coming and you wait to ride it. We are now, oh, surfers of infinite love and power and bliss and knowledge and all the wonderful things. Here it is. Here's the wave we've been waiting for. We're riding it together in this new moon in Aries. We are universally supported to start something new, to let go of the bindings of the old. I've been saying this lately. Nostalgia can be poison of the most utmost destructive nature. Yes, to honor history in the past, but the past has the value of the past is to teach us the art of the living in the eternal now and the future eternal nows that we're creating. So we're letting go of the bindings of sentimentality and nostalgia. There's a really great movie, well, at least it was great to me, that I've watched so many times, and it's called Midnight in Paris with Owen Wilson and Rachel McAdams and Marianne Cotillard, the French actress. And it talks about that. That might be a wonderful movie to watch if you want to watch something that will help you honor where you've come from and not hold on to it like Gollum, like my precious. Let it be something that then gets incorporated as just a stepping stone into a new higher life for you, for me, for everyone. And this new moon in Aries energy follows the equinox. As we said, we have the equinox energy putting us into the new moon. And I wrote this down because I might be able, because I was gifted with the brain for whatever reason. I mean, I have that ability to remember, but I don't have to anymore. I can write it down. We don't have to be that force energy that comes with the force to be perfect so that you can be loved or feel lovable or to create. That's dissolving into the old distorted past. And the perfection lies in the dignity and humility of being fully human, surrendering to the full divinity in every bit of our humanity. Oh, sweet one. I mean, that's just universal butter. All right. So the new moon, 21st, we're smack dab in the eternal now energy of it. Tomorrow, March 22nd, 2023, Ramadan begins in the Islamic faith. I learned something so cool. I have a really dear friend who I've known for about 20 years, and she was the first person of Muslim faith that became very close to me. I'd known other people, but I hadn't been so intimately connected. And she was here studying to get her master's. She's from Africa, from Morocco. And she was helping me out. I had just had my fourth of four children. And she came to help me starting on the day that Ramadan began. And a little bit of orange juice. I'm drinking salted orange juice these days to help my thyroid and my whole endocrine system. It's quite delicious. All right, so she told me a lot about what Ramadan means, and I've certainly have learned a lot since then. But there's something that specifically struck with me as she explained it. And that's what I remember whenever Ramadan starts. It is an opportunity to be so grateful for the gifts that God gives us on this planet of food, of water, of community, of nurturing. So that's on the 22nd. Also on the 22nd, for me personally, my youngest child turns 22 on the 22nd. This youngest offspring of mine was a propelling catalyst for me to take my legal brain. I was a corporate litigator when I started, blah, blah, blah. All wonderful thing. Top of my class, everything I did. To transfer that fully, I'd always been interested in what was more, to this business of miracles, of energy healing, of the divine, of what it is, real harmony. What is that? What's happiness? What's vibrant health? What's prosperity? How can we know to have enough? Because that pregnancy, if you don't know the story, was kind of a miraculous pregnancy. It was a result of a free energy healing at my dear friends, the chiropractor's office. They had had some beautiful woman offering free healings, energy healings. I didn't know what that was, but I was like, free? Yes. I mean, 3 children at the time. If you've had offspring, it's a thing. And what ensued was an unlikely ovulation. Ovulation, by the way, in lots of when we're in a lot of natural rhythm, women ovulate on the new moon. It's another reason that we plant intention seeds on the new moon. It's that time of the potential is there. Are you going to inseminate it? And then we kind of know by the full moon, as the sun and the moon and stars align to bring the rush of energy to us. Well, A, ovulated. B, got pregnant. C, thought that maybe I was dying of some sort of disease 2 months later because I did not feel so good. And found out that I was pregnant, and then was told by multiple medical sources for months that if this baby survived, the baby would need, maybe not survive the birth. I didn't have a miscarriage, that the baby would need massive reconstructive surgery to possibly survive. And that's when I said, whatever that I have been aware of since I was 7 consciously, that I've been dabbling in, I will now pursue it like a mother bear that wants to save her child. And by the way, that youngest offspring, 22 on the 22nd, amazing. Pluto. Oh my God. I want to read this about Pluto. Pluto makes its entrance into Aquarius on March 23rd, and it begins a shift in consciousness and power dynamics from the individual to the whole global systems. When Pluto comes, just sit on its lap and let it have its way with you. So Pluto is coming on the 23rd of March. On April 1st, I am hosting an event, a 3-hour supercharged materialize everything you need plus 3-hour event where I'm going to be bringing 3 ancient practices that I'm blessed to know how to facilitate to the participants. On April 1st, I will also be moving out of the home that I've been living in and into another wonderful home. And I'm going to be making some shifts in my life. And part of those shifts are because what I have been blessed to be a conduit for my whole entire life, and specifically through the Fierce Feminine Prosperity Power Program and my trip to Egypt in December of 2022, which was to awaken those sacred sites, to be a conduit for the Sphinx, the Temple of Isis, the Temple of Horus, the Nile River, and the Great Pyramid, to be able to lend my presence with other beautiful souls, to be able to bring this energy that we long for, to birth it to the planet. And after every birth, especially the more births you have, a woman needs time to recover. And that's I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be taking a trip on April 3rd to Hawaii. I have a beautiful nephew and his wife there. And I'm going to be immersing myself in the healing energy of that place that I've never been to before. And I keep just seeing waterfalls. So April 1st is that event, that 3-hour event. It's free, meaning we're transferring no squiggles for that. And then Passover begins on April 5th in the Jewish tradition, which is really cool. I went to my first Seder 10 years ago. I always wanted to be invited, and my friends who practice Judaism like, it's boring, you don't want to come. And I don't know why, but I just freaking love it. And then on April 5th, there's going to be a pink full moon. This new moon is in Aries, is building to that full moon in Libra. And on April 5th, it's what's called in astrology like a quadruple green light day. Those don't happen very often, and sweet Lord, they don't happen on a full moon, and they don't happen at this kind of energy. I mean, it's just unprecedented, and what that means is it is a great day to start something new. It is a great day to communicate. It is a great day to make commitments and contracts with the great assurance from the greater within you and around you that the end results will be super crazy great. Ooh, I'll be sending some stuff from Hawaii on that date. And then April 6th is the full moon on the East Coast because it's actually 12:37 a.m. And it's also the day I am starting on this new moon, this moment in time. I am launching an open enrollment in what I believe is the most unprecedented in scope, enlightening precision, power, gifts of the sacred feminine divine to us so that we can birth, we can take the energy, the potent potential energy of what we long for and bring it to the planet. And everyone, by the way, regardless of gender identity or none, has this sacred feminine energy. And it is a 12 session, multifaceted, multi layered, easeful, pleasurable, and potent program, really activation sequence. Is an activation sequence like you would see, like to blast off for all of us. Those that have taken the program are taking it and will take it. It exists on this planet. And that's why I'm offering it in this 2-week period of time. It just seems like that's the time to offer it. And then enrollment will close into the public in that way. I'm also going to offer it at original squiggle prices, which is 3333, which I love. And there's Merkaba or sacred geometry energy in that, because if you take a 3 and then you move it down, it's an M, and then you move it to the other side, it's an E, and then you move it up, it's a W. It's just like wonderful, excellent, mother bear, 3 Trinity. And now, dear one, at that moment of the 3 Genesis triangle Trinity, we ring in the new moon in Aries. Breathe with this. So be it, so hum, amen, alleluia, Jai Baba, amin, and so it is. And then just to on the list of wonderful things, then we have the Holy Week, Holy Thursday, the Last Supper, Good Friday, the crucifixion in the Christian tradition, Holy Saturday, and then Easter Sunday, which I've always loved. I've always loved riding in the energy of the resurrection, of there is no death. It's just beautiful. So, dear ones, I'd like to say this in the energy of fierceness, of the ram, of Aries, of new beginnings, of force in natural rhythm. The reason why I have been embodying the fierce feminine is because the fierce feminine is fierce for 2 reasons. Number 1, because she wants to be, whether that's winning a tennis match, a court case, birthing a baby, like she's just ready to go for her full potential in a way that she chooses. And then she's fierce because she has to be, because her children are in danger, because she's being shunned, gaslit, suppressed, marginalized. I mean, literally taken out of her life force, or the planet herself is having that happen to her. And then she's fierce because her natural longing to be tender, to love and be loved, to nurture, to bask in pleasure and patience and surrender and pulsating orgasmic vibrations is being thwarted. And we have a lot of that need on the planet and have had for a while. We have both of those types of fierceness. And when I was inspired by the energies of the sacred and the faces of the feminine divine, which are many, whether it's Kali or it's Mary Magdalene or Mother Mary or Isis or the Golden Planetary Mother, I mean, so many different representations and energies of the feminine divine. When I was inspired to be able to birth this service support for myself and for everyone and everything, I wasn't aware of how big it was going to be or what it was going to be like. I might have fussed a little more about it. I did fuss, my ego fussed. But now I know that that fierceness about prospering, to really prosper, the mother knows there's enough. Her body can nurture. When she is being nurtured, her body can nurture a new fetus growing. Her breast can fill and make enough milk perfectly designed for her babies if she chooses and if she's supported. There is just enough supply. This delusion of lack and all the insidious pain it causes, the feminine principle knows that it's enough. It's a lie. It's a very, very painful fib. And she then brings with that fierceness of what she wants and what she has to do. She brings in this ability for true prosperity, which means there's more than enough. The planet gets to nurture her children. That there's the definition of to prosper means to grow, to strengthen, to thrive, and to flourish. And ooh la la, there is pleasure in that. The feminine is the hallmark of pleasure. Her body is meant for it. And she wants that for everyone because that principle exists in us all. Hmm. So, dear ones, in our power, which is our capability, in this moment in time, in where the eternal now, where we are all basking in the ever present, generous present moment, in this new moon energy, as it brings so much to us. And then Pluto comes into Aquarius. By the way, Pluto in Aquarius hasn't happened since the time of the American and the French Revolution in the 1700s when things just shifted. We are in a time where rampant distortion might be making, like, General Custer in American history, like its last stand. The ego, before it surrenders itself, really puts up a fuss and wreaks havoc. Certainly, I see that. But I and we, with that devotion to wanting to nurture ourselves, those that we love, which is everyone and everything, and to flourish and thrive the way we know is possible, and to experience the fruits of this earth and the pleasure, supreme, cosmic pleasure supreme, that happens when we stop forgetting and we remember, oh, it's here now. So as I move us into the 5-step ignition process that was birthed through me more than a year ago to maximize the gifts of the new moon so we can jump in like double dutch and ride that wave and feel that orgasm crest of what we long for. I invite you to join me in the events that I'll be hosting, whether it's the Fierce Feminine Prosperity Activation Sequence and ooh la la, it's still blowing my mind as well as my gaskets in its scope. Or it's just riding this energy with me in all of us in time, or joining me in the body on April 1st in the afternoon on the East Coast for 3 sacred Genesis triangle, Holy Trinity, concentric, powerful triangles is what I call them. I know that's an oxymoron or an actual paradox, concentric and triangle. But in that, being able to then take this energy and materialize like a woman's body takes the initiation of the sperm to the egg and then materializes new life. I'll just say one more thing before I go. Since my entry into I don't know what to call I call myself all sorts of things, planetary force, master level healer, vitality, prosperity coach, keynote speaker. I mean, I've all the different titles. I've shaman in many different lineages. I've been able to study and receive and Reiki master 2 times over and ennoble the light for the Institute of Mental Physics. I mean, how crazy cool is that? I'm also a life coach and a holistic health coach. I just took that brain and I just started raising my children and taking every certification and then teaching years at a beautiful healing art school and the foundations of happiness and living in true abundance and how to dissolve defenses and how to actually transmit the healing energy of the universe through us, which, by the way, is one of the hallmarks of the fierce feminine. At the end of every one of the 12 activation sequences, I guide us in the ever present now, because the tracks have been laid in how to transmit the purified energy of the cosmos to an aspect of your personal life and global life, whether it be the global economy, the education system, the masculine principle, um, all the money and banking systems to guide us into how actually to then materialize that power to uplift. It's just time. Um, Oh, that's what I wanted to say is that since I got into the impetus, the divine kick in the patootie and the mother's patootie was pregnancy and birth. I know that this is a time that a lot of I just see this is the statistics and I hear it from people I know. There's been a lot more issues with infertility and miscarriages and even maternal death and infant birth in the last couple years. So this being part of the fierce feminine that knows how to birth, and this being part of a program that helps even cleanse the energetic structure to be able to host new life, figuratively and literally. This time also is in supportive of people that want to conceive, people that are longing to be parents, and there's ways to help that I know, and I think once I go on my maternal rest walkabout sabbatical, there'll be more from me on that as well as the natural vitality and beauty and the power of when the feminine and a woman feels and radiates the health and vitality and beauty of her wholeness. All right, dear ones, let's take some of those 365-degree breaths because here we're entering into the concentrated alchemy of transformation. The concentrated alchemy of you accessing, cultivating, and directing the infinite superpowers that are your birth and your soul, right? If you feel called, you can close your eyes, your physical eyes, if it's safe for you to do so, and let your internal gaze go to your ajna, which is the chakra right between the eyebrows. It is the center of a type of Buddhic or awareness, intuitive consciousness that is awakening, and specifically awakening when you bring your free will consciousness to it. And as you breathe in and out 360 degrees, affirm your willingness to come into the game of forgetting and now your command to remember and your ability to command the forces of the heavens and the earth at your direction to serve the compassionate awakening now. Use your imagination to see that the space that you are and the time that you're experiencing in linear human time is being filled with eternal forces of love and light, whether it be how you know the infinite divine, archangels, angels, beings of light, ascended masters, teachers, and guides, enlightened ancestors, the planets and the stars, the sun and the golden planetary mother, the elements of the earth, fire, Agni, water, Jala. This is the Sanskrit for it that I speak after. Air, Vayu, earth, Priti, and ether, Akasha. Calling on the elementals, those high vibrational elementals and the water spirits and the elemental spirits of the planet, and your personal guardians in this incarnation with you, for you, rejoicing in this moment to serve you at your invitation. You might want to even say, I invite the full resources of these highest light forces of the heavens and the earth and the energy that made it to me now without harm to myself or others for the maximum joyful fulfillment of my truth. And in this energy, what is asked of you is to, of the 5 steps, number 1, let go. Dear one, imagine letting go like tentacles that have bound you, any limiting beliefs or wounds, resentments, delusions of the lack of your immense mattering. Let go of nostalgia and a wishful thinking for something that doesn't exist so that you can create even better. Let go of stuff. Might imagine that. I'm in the process of letting go of so much stuff. And then as you let go of the balls and chains, the unnatural encumberments of feeling separate from infinite love and infinite power and infinite bliss and infinite knowledge, as you let go of that, you can inhabit the creative principle of the feminine and wholeness, which is to let go and surrender to the infinite love and the vibrations, the energetic vibrations that are serving you, to let go of any thought of you not being enough, any thought of you not being capable of loving and being loved, of pleasure, of prosperity, of happiness, of health, of service to everyone and everything. Know that you are that. I am that. You are that. It is you. And then sliding through an energetic wormhole into the second of the sacred 5 ignition facets. And that is to imagine, use the same exact force that said, let there be light. And there was light. Use that force of your imagination to bring the images and the feelings that you want to feel and see in your life, in your world, in your bank accounts, in your body, in your relationships, all relationships, in romantic love, what you want to see in your home, in your car, in your communities, and in your states, and your countries, and your continents, on your planet, and in your solar system plus. What would it feel like to be in the most amazing symphonic harmony with everything in existence? Imagine and feel in your body the cascade of dropping the sword of separateness and embracing the collaborative power to heal and transform and uplift yourself and everyone and everything. Keep breathing using the prana, this life force energy, to allow the cells of your body and your energetic structure to be able to tolerate it. It takes some time. That's why healing doesn't happen overnight, although sometimes it seems like that. But you got to give some time to let your chakras and your meridians and your vortexes and your organs and your organ systems and your cells and your mind to be able to adjust to the new the way that your eyes do when you move from darkness to light. And then, dear one, you can do this in the ethers. You can do it with your finger in air or an actual pen and paper. Do it now or after this you receive this session, but to write down, to take it from the vibration and the imagination and materialize it with marker or crayon or pencil or pen. Oh my, I just saw blood too, like a blood oath. And use the abracadabra that merges you with your divine soul nature, the I am. I am free. I am vibrantly healthy on every level of my being. I'm just suggesting these to you. I'm in my own. You will have your unique ones. I am in love with the lover and the beloved becoming one. I am in wonder and awe at how every facet of my life is realigning with universal truths, with harmony, with collaboration, with forgiveness, with joy, with abundance. I am moving in natural rhythm with the divine forces within me and around me. I am grateful. I am happy. And then, dear beloved one, if you're receiving this in the linear future now, you can pause if you want more space. And you can also come back to this anytime for those that are receiving this in the linear present new moon moment. Let's wormhole through into step 3, which is to allow something greater to do it. So it is just like, it is done, it is done. All that you get to do now is just to be continually inspired, letting your intuition and your sight and your the sounds and the feels and the taste to just let the steps for you to take just to pop into you, and to allow the greater to help you remove any resistance of that ego separate self that says that you can't or you shouldn't or you won't or it's too weird or others won't like me. All of those, oh, those rat bastard voices. I always say, well played, Lord. It's a very good game made here. But allow something greater to align the forces of the universe, of the planet, of your psyche, of your body, of your relationships to pop into awareness. Oh, I can do that. We have new moon in Aries that is take action, that is bold, that takes leaps, that comes with great faith of its ability, of our ability to just go, receive, give, share, go for it. Oh my God, it's so amazing. And then coming in to the joyful manifestation of step 5, which is what the purpose of creation is for, is sweet Lord, have fun and enjoy the process. This whole great universe, this whole business of creation is meant to experience love. The greater infinite before the Big Bang or the Om point or the who am I point, so many different beautiful analogies for how creation began. But the point of that, as I know it, is that infinite oneness is one, but it's fun to play the other. That's when you then experience love. Love is, and then love plays. And in the seeming separateness that we're now moving towards, we get to be at the level of consciousness, the divine realization to make real. The purpose of creation is to play the lover and beloved interchangeable as the one before the time that we finally merge with the one while we're still in this precious human form. Knowing that we're more than that, but we get one. Know that we're more than our thoughts, but we get them. Know that we're more than our emotions, but we get them. That we have a soul, an incarnate spirit that gets to direct them. And that we've had enough of suffering. 99% of suffering is self-created. 1% is necessary. And that might be the kind of feeling that makes you jump off a rock cliff into the beautiful Aegean Sea, or decide to go for having a baby, or to jump into the sacred divine transmitting her power to you in the fierce feminine prosperity power sequence, or anything that you feel the vibration of, can I? Should I? Will I be okay? Yes. There is no death, so we'll certainly be okay. We just skedaddle to the other side. This is such an extraordinary time for us, just one after the other. Equinox, new moon, Ramadan, my youngest birthday. What's the oh, Pluto and Aries, sweet Lord. I wrote something down about Aries. One of my offspring is sun sign in Aquarius. And Aquarius is the mystical healer, the energy of the water bearer, the energy of bringing the optimism and new ways of doing things and bringing the essential nutrients to the earth and to our endeavors. Oh, thank you, Pluto in Aries. And then we have Passover and the pink full moon, and then the quadruple green light day, and then Holy Week in Easter in the Christian tradition, and then more and more and still yet more, dear ones. Buckle up, gods and goddesses and divine beings. What we long for is here, and we get to now play love personified, play the creator embodied in human form, play the lover and beloved joining as one and being able to access that originating God force that's separated into active and receptive, to light and dark, to masculine and feminine, to be able to play. And now we've played a little too much amok. Let's bring it back in alignment. Oh, thank you so much for being with me in this eternal time, in linear time, in spaceless space, and in this moment, in your space and time. I am ever grateful to be able to have been given the gifts to listen to the call, to create and serve. And I'm grateful to be able to listen to the call to rest and nurture new life, and to be able to share that universal birthing of the last 6 months with you and humanity forever and ever without end. Amen. I will conclude with my favorite hymn from growing up back in my Catholic days was Let There Be Peace on Earth. And my voice is still scratchy from recent shenanigans with a cold virus, but I will sing it the best I can from my soul, from my longing for you and I. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with we. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that is meant to be, with the divine as the creator, siblings all are we. Let us play and breathe and walk with each other in peace and harmony. Let peace begin with we. Let this be the moment now. With every 365-degree breath we take, let this be our solemn vow to take each moment and live each moment in creative, joyful, pleasurable peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with we. I'm so crazy grateful. Love, vitality, prosperity, beauty, pleasure, blessings, and more. Mwah.